This IP originally started as a comic on in Japanese term a manga that had a massive influence on the world of pop culture because it successfully established the mainstream standard in the shonen or teenage boy comic markets and inspired many other creators who followed in its footsteps. There is actually an interesting story behind why Dragon Ball became so popular, especially within the context of the Japanese comics industry during the 1918s, which could be considered the foundation of the industry's golden age, an era when printed media generated enormous profits in the Japan's domestic markets. There is a reason why Dragon Ball, despite having such a chaotic story structure, became incredibly popular and turned into the standard formula for similar works today. The creator of this IP was Akira Toriyama, a man born on April 5, 1955, in Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture, Japan. He originally worked as a graphic designer at a small advertising company in his hometown. However, he eventually quit because he was doing the same thing every day, which made him bored. On top of that, he was often scolded by his boss for dressing too casually. That did not mean he disliked graphic design. In fact, since childhood, he always loved drawing. Works such as 101 Dalmatian by Walt Disney and Astro Boy by Osamu Tezuka inspired him to draw objects around him such as a vehicle, animal, even people, especially his classmates. After leaving his previous job, he channeled his drawing skills into Shueisha through Weekly Shonen Jump by creating his first comic titled Our World, which was never commercially published because it failed to win the monthly Young Jump Award. This was followed by a Star Wars parody titled Mysterious Rainjack, which unfortunately was also rejected because it was not considered an original work. Fortunately, an editor named Kazuhiko Torishima believed that Akira Toriyama had potential because the uniqueness of his work, especially his art style and onomatopoeia, which resembled Western comic. Because Torishima encouraged him not to give up, Toriyama eventually succeeded when Wonder Island was officially published, although the manga ranked at the bottom of reader survey at the time, similar to its sequel released the same year. Even though he failed again with Today Highlight Island, he finally received positive response after releasing Tomato Girls Detective, which readers enjoyed because its protagonist was a clumsy yet tough female detective named Akei Tomato. This work stood out because it leaned much more heavily into bold comedy compared to his previous work. Eventually, Akira Toriyama and his editor Kazuhiko Torishima agreed to develop the next project into a serialized manga titled Dr. Slump. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the series became a huge success, selling over 35 million copies in Japan. The story focused on absurd comedy involving a pervert genius scientist named Senbei Norimaki, who wandered around searching for his idol woman, accompanied by his cheat-like robot creation named Ariel, who was innocent, hyperactive, and absurd. A year later, Dr. Slump received an anime adaptation and achieved impressive ratings of 36.9%. His popularity also helped Weekly Shonen Jump dominate Japan's manga market at the time, because he became exhausted from constantly drawing ridiculous and absurd comedy every week. Toriyama wanted to try more action-oriented project. During the serialization of Dr. Slump, Torishima noticed this issue and suggested that Toriyama create a martial arts manga because of his love for kung fu movies, especially Jackie Chan's Drunken Master. As a result, Akira Toriyama created a manga titled Dragon Ball, starting a protagonist named Tenton, a naive little boy with excellent martial arts skill, unique design, and charming personality. Using ancient Chinese aesthetic and settings, this manga later became the foundation for Goku's outfit design. Not stopping there, another prototype manga titled Adventures of Tongpu, released in the same year, used science fiction elements with a cyborg boy protagonist named Tongpu. It introduced advanced capsule technology capable of storing and summoning objects, as well as outer space adventure. Because the concept was considered mature enough, the concept, story ideas, and the character of these two prototypes manga were merged together and eventually gave birth to Dragon Ball, first published on December 3rd, 1984. Technically, Dragon Ball was a loose adaptation of the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West by Wu Chang'an. Toriyama personally admired many aspects of Chinese culture, from repeatedly watching kung fu movies while working to frequently visiting China as a tourist to collecting books featuring Chinese scenery and traditional clothing. His goal was to make his work feel authentic while still maintaining his own style. That's why Akira Toriyama used the novel as a foundation, because classic stories made it easier for him to structure the plot. He simply modified existing elements according his own desires as an author. As can be seen from the comparisons between Dragon Ball and Journey to the West characters, many characters were adaptations of the original work. Likewise, the story changed from searching for sacred scriptures into searching for 7 magical balls capable of granting wishes within an adventure genre mixed with material art action. At first, because the adventure's focus was not popular enough, the story shifted fully toward material arts tournament. The problem was that the plot originally lacked direction. Although the main objective was searching for Dragon Balls, the story often consists of short absurd comedy sketches, such as Goku simply following Bulma around without personal goal, Bulma wanting a handsome boyfriend, or Oolong wanting woman's underwear. On the other hand, the action and material arts scenes were only half developed because they were still rated mainly as a comedy. As a result, reader surveys ranking dropped sharply. Torishima then criticized Toriyama and advised him to focus entirely on martial arts so the story would become more focused, engaging, and urgent. As a result, the narrative introduced the rule that Dragon Balls would become inactive stones and scatter across the world after being used, only becoming usable again after 1 year. Within the plot, martial arts training served to strengthen Goku's abilities and prepared him for future Dragon Ball search, especially to prevent the ball from being misused by dangerous people. This martial arts tournament arc introduced characters such as Kame Sennin, also called as Master Roshi, Goku's martial arts teacher and mentor, Krillin, his training partner under the Turtle School, and Lunch, a sweet girl whose personality changed into a violent one whenever she sneezed. She added comedic dynamic while taking care of Master Roshi's and his students during training. According to Torishima, these characters enriched interaction so the plot would not feel bland. The shift from adventure to martial arts proved successful in increasing the series' popularity. What had previously been random comedy skits transformed into adrenaline-filled competition. This format attracts readers because it introduced clear power scaling, tension, urgency, innovative fighting technique, interesting supporting characters, and undying spirits, the core essence of shonen storytelling. Even though Goku lost the final match to Jackie Chun, who was actually his disguised Master Roshi, the tournament arc still became highly popular. Toriyama later returned to adventure's element in the Red Reborn Army arc while mixing them with action. Following Torishima advice, this experiment succeeded because it greatly increased the scale and intensity of the story. The theme of adventure wrapped in military action created suspense and curiosity about what would happen to Goku while he was trapped in dangerous situation. The appearance of death through the character Bora, who was killed by Tao Pai Pai, also added significant emotional weight because Goku's desire to gather the Dragon Balls shifted from mere adventures to reviving someone. Furthermore, Tao Pai Pai's appearance frightened readers because Toriyama introduced the concept of a ruthless assassin far removed from comedic incompetence of villains like Emperor Pilaf and his gang. This arc also demonstrated the result of Goku's training and experience from previous arc as he battled the massive Red Reborn army spread across the world while hunting Dragon Balls. This forced Goku to travel across various locations such as a Jingle Village, Muscle Tower, Penguin Village, Pirate Cave, Red Ribbon headquarters, and Current Sacred Land, which the Toriyama soaring pillar, reaching the sky, thereby expanding the series world building. The arc became even deeper through its crucial training elements, where Goku had to train harder after being completely defeated by Toppai Pai. First, he had to climb Karin Tower, a structure 1,000 of meter height, which took him 3 days to reach the top. Afterward, Goku struggled to steal the secret water bottle from Korin the Hermit Cat, only to realize he had basically been pranked. The point was never whether the water was actually sacred or not. What mattered was that Goku's hard work paid off during his rematch against Toppai Pai, proving that hard work leads to meaningful results. Toriyama then returns once again to the martial arts tournament format in the next arc, although it initially seemed repetitive. The arc actually carried ideological themes through the rivalry between the Turtle School and Crane School. This arc introduced Yen Shinhan, the proud discipline of the Crane School who broke Yamcha's leg. Initially arrogant and cruel, Teen aimed to preserve the honor of the Crane School by proving its superior, the Turtle School, as part of revenge-driven ideology. He had been raised to become a cold-blooded assassin like Toppai Pai, who was the brother of Master Shen, the leader of the Crane School. This surprised reader because the arc introduced deeply personal revenge motive against Goku as consequence from previous arc. Gyotzu, a martial artist processing telekinesis and telepathy, further enriched the story dynamic as Tien's loyal and innocent companion. Although Gyotzu himself might not have been particularly compelling as a character, his existence highlighted Tien loyalty and caring older brother personality. This arc emphasized that the path of darkness only leads to destruction and loneliness, especially when used to satisfy personal revenge or a teacher ambitions. Winning through cheating was portrayed as unworthy of a true martial artist.
Look, such knowledge is beyond your reach until you leave your evil ways behind. You've allowed yourself to be led down a short and destructive path. That's enough! Listen to my words, Tien. The truth is always upsetting when you choose to live a lie.
Not long after the arc ended with Tien Shinhan becoming champion, the next arc immediately began with death. Unexpectedly, Krillin was murdered by a strange creature called Tambourine shortly after volunteering to retrieve Goku's staff and 4 Stars Dragon Ball. This shocking event drastically darkened the story zone because the creature introduced an atmosphere of conspiracy involving the murders of martial artists, all leading toward the main villain of the arc. The scale of the threat was enormous because the villain intended to conquer the world by taking over the king's palace and forcing the king to surrender his authority. It was revealed that his major crisis originates from Pilaf's failed ambition to conquer the world after being repeatedly stopped by Goku and his friend. In desperation, Pilaf released the Demon King from an electric rice cooker by breaking the Mafuba seal, intending to use him as a tool to eliminate Goku. Foolishly, Pilaf ignored the risk after being tempted with promises of territory by the figure known as King Piccolo, thereby causing a massive global crisis. Piccolo's evil plan officially began after betraying Pilaf and using the 7 Dragon Balls collected by his offspring, such as Tambourine and Cymbal, to restore his youth and lost power. Immediately after the wish was granted, Piccolo killed Shenron, so nobody could use the Dragon Ball to stop him, leaving Goku and his allies in complete despair. Goku lost the first round against King Piccolo to demonstrate just how overwhelmingly powerful he was as the ultimate demon and strongest enemy of classic Dragon Ball. Because the character was so powerful, Toriyama had to introduce a secret item into the story. Unlike before, this time Goku was not pranked by Korin because the situation was genuinely serious. The battle became extremely intense and brutal, creating tremendous suspense among readers, even pushing Goku to the brink of the death. Ultimately, the story's intensity and reader satisfaction reached their peak when Goku unleashed his ultimate attack, the Dragon Fist, piercing through King Piccolo's body and winning the battle. Akira Toriyama, who loved improvisation, then decided to make Goku appear physically and mentally more mature. This decision was initially opposed by Torishima because he feared it would reduce the series' popularity. However, Toriyama insisted because he wanted the series' aesthetic to feel more serious and meaningful as part of Goku's character development. As a result, he prepared the next arc by having King Piccolo lay an egg, continuing the revenge theme that culminated in yet another world martial arts tournament. The function of this arc was to show that Goku had finally become someone capable of overcoming every obstacle after previously suffering two tournament losses and multiple global scale crises. This arc brought the series to its highest level of tension by combining an official martial arts tournament with a world-threatening danger. Piccolo's return as a new individual provided Goku with an extremely dangerous final opponent, considering the overwhelming reputation they built during King Piccolo's arc. The stakes became even greater because failure would mean death for Goku and his friend. The battle was highly exciting because both fighters exhausted all their strength to defeat each other, even reaching the brink of death despite technically still participating in an official tournament. At its climax, Goku finally became the official tournament champion, symbolizing the value of every struggle he had gone through with his friends, from adventures and daily life to training and life-threatening battles. This arc also marked the end of Kazuhiko Torishima's role as Dragon Ball's editor because he was promoted within Shueisha to manage other manga series in Weekly Shonen Jump. His success came from guiding Akira Toriyama to create stories that both he and the readers genuinely enjoyed, resulting in the tremendous commercial success. There are several interesting points within his discussion because they all shape the perception of Akira Toriyama's principle as a manga writer who loved passion yet remained highly practical. He deeply loved the world of fictional art, leaving his job as a graphic designer where he merely built other people's vision bored him because he could not fully express the ideas inside his own mind. He possessed strong free will supported by editorial guidance. His desire to become a mangaka was genuine because manga became a medium for expressing his imagination. He created many titles early in his career as experiments, which were later refined by editorial direction so readers could understand his creativity while still supporting Shueisha's commercial interests. Initially, he did not even know the purpose of creating manga. He simply drew whatever he liked. Although unique, he sometimes went too far and forgot the core essence of storytelling itself. This proved that turning a hobby into professional work requires high responsibility and the ability to set aside personal ego in order to fulfill the function of manga as fictional entertainment. He rarely planned future story development. Akira Toriyama was a spontaneous comic artist who drew according to whatever came to his mind at the moment. That is why Dragon Ball's story often lacked a specific long-term objective, since its fictional lore was extremely flexible and allowed Toriyama to insert anything he wants. He was lazy yet efficient mangaka who constantly struggled with deadlines. Deadlines were nightmares for mangaka, including Toriyama, because they had to complete 15 to 20 pages every week while working every single day. Over time, this made him quickly bored from drawing the same thing repeatedly. That is why Dragon Ball contains minimal dialogue and focuses heavily on dynamic action panels, which Toriyama personally enjoyed drawing because they speed up his workflow. Actually, this discussion will continue into Dragon Ball Z, which became the absolute peak of the series' popularity. In your opinion, was Toriyama truly a genius or simply an eccentric creator who was too random? Please leave the comment. Alright, that's for all this episode of Breaking the IP. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and bye!